Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reel Me In: A Movie Podcast, where you didn't really ask for it, but hey, I'm gonna give it to you anyways. This is a podcast where I talk about anything, everything, and well, anything about movies. I'm Chase Lee, and I'll be your host for this very average show. And I have a guest with me this week, and it is my lovely girlfriend, Emiline. Emiline, go ahead and say hi to the folks out there, the 5 people that listen to this.
Hey guys, how are y'all? Hope y'all are doing well.
Well, you hear that, guys? She's more friendly than I am. She doesn't know this, but I treat you guys like shit. I'm just like, yeah, I'm very rude. Maybe I shouldn't have told her that. But for this episode, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. Of course, we're gonna talk about Robin Williams and a couple of films that he's done, because he passed away this week. It's very sad, but I don't want to harp on it too much because people have been overplaying this. All over social media. I kind of just want to hit it briefly and then we can move on. I got some movie news, and the reason why I brought Emiline on is because we saw Expendables 3 yesterday, and I actually wanted to get her to come on here to give her perspective on it, because this is a movie filled with muscles, penises, and old burlap sack looking dudes, and so I just want to get a female on here and get her perspective on it and whatnot. And then of course, box office results for the weekend. I'll plug my shit at the end, and then we'll call it a night. So let's get this started. So Robin Williams, unfortunately, has passed away, and it kind of sucked because I was sitting in a movie theater, and I was waiting for this movie to start, and then social media is all over the place, and people are posting. I'm just like, oh, it's gotta be a hoax. It has to be. So when I realized it was true, I was like, oh shit, I'm actually gonna go into this movie super depressed now. So Emiline, what are some of your favorite Robin Williams movies?
Well, I actually I have 3 different favorites of his.
Okay.
I know there's a lot to choose from, but I definitely would pick, my 3 would be, let's see, Mrs. Doubtfire, definitely.
Yes.
And then Patch Adams, can't go wrong with Patch Adams.
That one's really good.
And then Hook. Hook has always been one of my favorites. So all 3 of those.
Okay, I agree with all those. Me and Emiline were born in the same year, so we have pretty much grown up with Robin Williams and all of his movies, and I totally agree with that. Mrs. Doubtfire, awesome. Hook, awesome. Patch Adams is one of those movies that's very uplifting, and it kind of showed Williams' dramatic side, if you will. And so, what's really weird? I'm gonna pick some really obscure movies, not obscure, but maybe movies no one has heard of as much as all those popular ones. But my favorite dramatic Robin Williams role, and I actually watched it today, and it's not Good Will Hunting. It's not Dead Poets Society. My favorite from him, dramatic-wise, and I'm looking at the DVD case right now, it is 1 Hour Photo. If you guys have not seen that, he plays a photo developer inside of a supermarket, and then he creepily obsesses over this family he's been developing photos for years. It's a super creepy yet subtle role from him. I thought it was excellent. If you guys have not seen 1 Hour Photo, please give it a watch. It's not the smartest not that's the wrong word. I'm sounding dumb. It's not the best story ever. It's a very basic, straightforward story, but his performance elevates that movie to a whole nother level, and it's out of this world. And for comedy wise, I'd have to go with World's Greatest Dad. That's a dark comedy, and I really don't want to get into the specifics of the plot because you gotta watch it for yourself. But if you want to see a dark comedy with Robin Williams, see World's Greatest Dad. So it's really sad that he's gone, and you know what? Let's just not think about the fact that he is gone. Let's think about the fact that he's enjoyed our little hearts for several years, and he's been very he puts smiles on people's faces, you know? So, you know, he will be missed. Rest in peace, sir. And hopefully that he is cracking jokes up there. So, I'm going to go over some movie news. And some of these are quite interesting. Some of them are even more interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the top, and I'll start from the bottom. Now we're here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the first one, and that is The Interview. This is the movie that's Seth Rogen, James Franco, and North Korea. And, you know, they're having that whole battle with, like, North Korea's going, we're going to start a war if you release this movie. It's like, Kim Jong-un, sit your fat ass down. Like, no one wants to listen to you. So apparently they're going to cut some scenes out that involve military weapons. I think it was either, I forgot which one, but they're going to alter military buttons so they're not like replicating real life military buttons, so people, you know, don't get it and go, oh, this is what they use and stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting. What's striking me about this is that Sony's giving in. At first, they were just like, North Korea wants to start World War III over our movie? Fuck yeah! Like, it's like free advertising for them. So, the fact that they're doing this and they're kind of like backing out of some stuff, because I heard they're going to cut a lot of scenes as well. It's like, come on, Sony. I thought you had bigger balls than that. Don't let North Korea win, okay? You're going to let Kim Jong-un and his nasty roadkill haircut win. We don't want that. We really don't. Yeah, he's got a nasty roadkill haircut. So, next time you're on Google, just type in Kim Jong-un, and you'll realize that he's got a dead raccoon on top of his head. So that's the first piece of news. The second piece of news is that Michael Bay may not be directing Transformers 5. Emiline, did you hear about this? No? Oh, okay.
No.
No, because no one gives a shit about Michael Bay. That's actually not true. He's actually one of the most talked about directors right now for all the wrong reasons. But he's not going to come back and do number 5. Hey, listen, full disclosure, everyone, I didn't fucking see number 4. You know why? Because I was done after Transformers 3. I think they're fun movies, but I was done after them. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was better than Transformers 4, so Michael Bay produced a lot more. Don't direct. But I think this is good. I don't want to see Michael Bay, because, okay, if you have a director that's like on the same property for a long ass time, his vision will start to go stale, and it's going to seem very repetitive and very old. So I think it'd be nice to have like a new director, like fresh blood, you know. So I like that piece of news. The next piece of news.
I was just gonna say real quick, like they did that with Harry Potter, and it turned out to be okay. So it might turn out being all right. So
yeah, I mean that's a good point, because like listen, let's face it. After Harry Potter 1 and 2 were like very colorful. They were very Chuck E. Cheese like there's like kid crap everywhere. But once the third one hit, holy shit! Like it was dark as hell, and it continued to get darker from that point forward. And you're right. Like if you look at that franchise, it benefited from changing directors. And I think Transformers is one of those ones that if you want to get people's trust again, you're going to need to change directors. That's just as simple as that. So I'm okay with that if it actually does happen. And so, yeah.
Who do you think is going to take over the project, though?
Ooh. Let's see. Okay, so...
Because those are big shoes to fill, I would think.
I mean, you're right. Like, you know, even though he's made 4 of them and not many people like him, he has done 4 of them. So, like, that's what the public knows. And so... Yeah, man, you're going to have to get, like, someone that... If you get someone that changes it too much, it might confuse audiences, and they might just, like, poo themselves. Like, they'll just be confused, like, this isn't what I paid for. I don't know. I honestly, I'd have to, like, think on that. I literally would have to, like, go in a corner of my room, just, like, scroll on my phone on the internet and just, like, cry myself to sleep because I wouldn't be able to pick one. Because let's face it, someone's going to have to pick up his pieces, and I don't know if you want to come in to a franchise on the 5th movie like that. I don't know. I'd have to really think about on that. So no, I cannot answer that for you, so I apologize for that. So the last piece of news is very interesting, and I want to get your take on this. So Warner Brothers, they own DC Comics, so they do like Batman, Superman, Aquaman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, etc. They're going to do an Aquaman movie, but the thing is they're going to do two separate scripts from two separate writers because they want to have two separate stories and just pick one. So it's almost like they're playing Russian roulette. They're going to have like two scripts, and they're going to just like blindly pick one. So, I mean, do you think it's smarter of them to do two separate scripts and just pick one?
No. I think they should, like, maybe merge the two if they can. But, like, for them to pick one or the other, you have to think whoever they don't pick, that's a lot of work that they put into it. For them to not use it, then it's just like a waste of time, waste of energy.
Right.
So I think they need to merge them somehow. I think that's the only fair way to go about it.
Wouldn't you say that creating two separate scripts kind of shows the lack of confidence, and they just don't know what the hell they're doing over there?
Yeah, unless they just want to see different types of creativity. I don't know.
Yeah, it's well, just to let you guys know, one of the writers is his last one that he wrote was the last 300 movie, Rise of an Empire, and then the other writer, his last movie he did was Gangster Squad, and I haven't seen either one of those movies, so I cannot comment. But what this tells me is that DC, Batman v Superman is coming out in 2 years. It's gonna make a shit ton of money. Justice League will come out. Wonder Woman will come out. But the fact that they don't know what the hell to do with Aquaman, I mean, what's your story going to be? That he's got to go save a flounder fish from the sea because it got its fin caught in a rock or something? I don't know. Like, what the hell are you going to... What are you going to do? Focus on mostly in the water? You're going to focus on mostly on land? Like, I'm sorry, Aquaman. There's a reason why you're the butt of the joke. And listen, I know that you look badass in your new, like, comic book storyline right now, but you're still fucking Aquaman. So I don't know how to feel about that. I just feel it's a lack of confidence. But we'll see. Who knows? Aquaman might be the most badass thing ever, and I'll be the first in line wearing an Aquaman t-shirt looking like I'm 12 years old and I just grew my first pubic hair. So I don't know. I might be proven wrong. So that is it for the news this week, guys. If you guys have any comments about the news, comment that places right below my voice and let me know. And for Robin Williams movies, what is your favorite Robin Williams movie? I would like to know because most people will not say 1 Hour Photo or World's Greatest Dad, so I would like to know what your favorite is. So, moving on into the meat of this podcast, because that's what people came here for. So, Emiline, we saw Expendables 3, and I want to hear what you thought about it, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Like, just talk about it.
Well, it was action-packed, that's for sure.
Oh, hell yeah, it was.
Not very many lull moments. And I liked how the characters, like different characters, they, I don't know, kind of like picked on each other. That's kind of how it went with the first two movies. Like there's always a constant struggle with, like, I forget the guy's name, but Jet Li and then the big guy, like the Russian guy, I forget his name. But anyway, like they were always squabbling, and I think there was a couple other characters that they would squabble, and it just like made it that much more fun that people were, just picking on each other, just trying to act all tough and outdo each other.
Yeah, I mean, so you and I can agree that by the third movie, if you do not have chemistry between all your characters, what the fuck are you doing? And they all had good chemistry, just like in the first two. Is there anything that you didn't really like about the movie? Is there anything that kind of irked you?
I don't know. Like towards the beginning, I was thinking, okay, this is not very realistic. But I forget exactly what it was that got me starting to think that. But I mean, no, there wasn't really much that I didn't like. I did like the fact that they brought in at least one, kind of switch things up a little bit. But as far as things I didn't like, I didn't really name much at all.
Okay. Well, I mean,
So, I mean, every once in a while, like, I'll pick out movie mistakes, just little bitty nitty gritty things. I mean, just like I was talking to Chase earlier about the blood on Mel Gibson's lip, and like it just only one cut in that whole scene that looked realistic. The rest of the time, to me, it just didn't look quite realistic.
yeah.
But I mean, that's just getting down to the nitty gritty. So, but everything else, I didn't really have a dislike for. Everything seemed to be alright.
So for the most part, it was fun and entertaining, which is what they go for. It's like you want to be entertained by these movies. That's it. Like that's what the Expendables is. It's just over the top, ridiculous, fun entertainment.
Right.
You were kind of cutting off a little bit, but what she was saying was one of the things that she liked about it was the fact that they brought in new blood and they brought in like younger people and whatnot, and so because they kind of split it. Screen time. Like this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailers, but like I would say like half the movies held up by the old Expendables and half the movies held up by the new ones. Like they kind of like split up a little bit. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I fell asleep once during Expendables 1. I fell asleep once during Expendables 2. I did not fall asleep during Expendables 3 because I had a very attractive woman next to me, so that was a incentive to keep me up. The first Expendables, I was probably by myself. I was sleeping with a hot bag of buttered popcorn on my lap, and that was probably depressing. And then the second Expendables, I remember that I was in my apartment, and I probably had like a bag of burnt buttered popcorn in my lap, and so that was kind of depressing. So that's probably why I fell asleep, because I was by myself and didn't really enjoy myself, I guess. But the third one I had someone next to me, so it was like I said, an incentive to stay up. But for the most part, I really enjoyed number 3. I'm not gonna lie, man. I enjoyed it way more than the first two, and it's not because the PG-13 rating didn't bother me. The rating switch because the first two are rated R. That really didn't bother me. Yeah, it was kind of annoying when people were shooting people and like dust pellets would pop out. It's almost like they were shooting corpses. And like they would shoot the body or whatever, and like it would just like poof out dust like a queef on their chest or whatever. So yeah, like the whole blood thing and the whole like F-bomb thing, it really doesn't bother me, but you can notice it because there's balls to the wall action throughout this entire thing, and so I think for that in that regard, I was more entertained in this one than the first two. Listen, guys, these are not Oscar bait movies at all. Oh, dear God, they're not. Like, as much as I love Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, everyone on that whole freaking movie, these guys are not the best actors in the world, and they know that. They're having fun. That's what these movies are. They are fun. They generate fun. They make you just want to have fun while watching them, just blow shit up and, like, shoot, like, 100 people at once and dodge every bullet and jump from explosions. Like they're just a fun time at the movies. Listen, if you have nothing to do, honestly, if you have nothing to do and you're bored, I would say it's a good matinee. Emiline, if you were to rate this thing out of 10, what would you give it, and why? I mean, like kind of like give an overall review, and then like what would you rate it?
I mean, just the fact that they had a lot of action and, always kept your attention. A lot of celebrities that have been favored over the years. I'd probably give it an 8 in my book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Believe it or not.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I was going to give it like a 7, like a strong 7, just because it's weird. I found the third one more entertaining than the first two, and it's fucking PG-13. So, yeah, guys, it's pretty fun. So, like I said, if you're bored and like you don't want to spend like $10 or $12, I understand. No one wants to spend that much. We went to the matinee of it, which was perfect. It was like $6 or $7 a piece. That's like a perfect thing to spend. And the reason why, like, I wanted to bring Emiline on and talk about the Expendables because it is like a testosterone, wrinkly, penis-filled movie to where like you want to get like a woman's perspective on such movie. And so, with that being said, I was talking to Emiline the other night, and I told her about the Expendables, and this is the all-female version of the Expendables. So, Emiline, do you think that an Expendables would work?
I think it could, but you just have to think of it this way. Like, I don't know. In my mind, I think of mostly wrestlers and, female wrestlers and stuff like that. Like, who else can you really get this badass? I mean, I guess you could get a gymnast in there.
Yeah.
Or motocross one, kind of like Kellen Lutz was in Expendables 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, and like if you had a getaway driver, that could be Danica Patrick, I think that's her name. I don't know. Like, you just have to think, okay, for a team, what would you need for a special ops team? And you basically go down the line of, each position and figure out, okay, well, who's known for that?
Yeah.
Sort of position, and then I guess try to film each one doing what they normally do, kind of like the female in this one, Luna, who is played by Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, she's a MMA fighter.
Yeah, she's known for MMA fighting, so she had a lot of that going on in this Expendables 3. So, I mean, I think if they played on their expertise or what they're known for, it would be awesome if they had an Expendables.
Yeah, I think it could work. The only problem is, and I gotta be honest, this is a problem that Hollywood faces every single day, is coming up with female-driven movies. Now, listen, I will support any movie, regardless if it's a guy or woman leading the movie. But let's face it, most of the general public does not want to go see a female-led movie, which is sad because those are some of the strongest characters on film, and they're awesome. And I don't know, Expendables, I mean, it may or may not work. It's really tough to tell. It depends on who they cast in it. If they can cast some really badass actresses in it, then it could work. If they cast a bunch of nobodies, it ain't gonna work. But if you mix like what you were saying, like maybe some fighters or boxers, if you get some of those people plus some actresses and put them together like the Expendables, because the Expendables, you have a bunch of actors in it, but you also have a bunch of like Ortiz in it, the boxer, Ronda Rousey fighter, Randy Couture, he's a fighter, right? Yeah, I think he's a fighter. So I mean, like they do a nice blend. I think if they do that with the Expendables, it could work. As long as they have a strong cast, I think the Expendables could at least garner an interest in the public. Because that's the one thing I'm worried about is that people don't want to go see it because they don't want to see any female-led movie, which is very sad. So, Expendables, it's coming. I'm sure when news breaks on the cast, wherever, I'll probably announce it on this show. But as of right now, it's just a title, and that's all we got. But yeah, overall, what?
Oh, I was just going to say, like, guys aren't the only ones kicking ass in this world. Girls are out there too, and they're up and coming. Like, they might not be as physically strong, but I mean, just emotionally strong. They can handle stuff too. I'm not saying like one sex is outdoing the other. I mean, you have to have like an equilibrium of the two, but at the same time, like, you have female doctors who are saving lives. You have, different women are doing different things. So, I mean, it's just not necessarily all tough people are guys.
Yeah.
So we need to, like, bring in the tough chicks see them kick some ass for once.
I totally agree with you. I will not disagree that in the slightest. I think that we need strong females in movies because, okay, Scarlett Johansson in all the Marvel movies, Black Widow, I love her character. Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy, I liked her in it. Zoe Saldana. Speaking of Zoe Saldana, she's in like 3 franchises, but she always kicks ass. I like Sigourney Weaver back in Aliens. In Alien, dear God, she was a great female character. I like the actress that played Sarah Connor in the Terminator movies. She was good. So I mean, like, they work. It's just that no fucking writer will ever write any female characters, and no Hollywood studio is like ready to fund an entire movie. And hopefully that will change with comic book movies, because I've always said it. If Marvel and or DC can make a hit female-led superhero movie and it does well, holy shit, the doors are open for everything. They'll be like, oh, I want Expendables 1, 2, and 3. I want this comic book character, all that jazz. So, you know, there just needs to be that one movie. Right now, Scarlett Johansson's kind of doing it with, like, Black Widow in the Marvel movies. Lucy has done very well. I have not seen the movie, but it's done very well box office-wise. So, and she leads the movie. So, it is possible, but I've gone on this way too long. Expendables is coming. Expendables 3. And this is why I don't do reviews on Expendables and stuff for my channel. I'd rather just talk about it in podcasts because I'll wrap it up in 30 seconds. It's great, fun, over-the-top action, cheesy dialogue, which is what you want. It's fun and just damn entertaining. Wesley Snipes is awesome. Mel Gibson is awesome as the villain. I loved his monologue in that truck. That's the scene where the blood was on the chin. He was fucking menacing in that scene. I love that scene. And then, who else did they add? Well, Kelsey Grammer was in it. He was pretty cool. Oh, who was your favorite character when we walked out of the theater? Who'd you say?
Galgo, who was played by Antonio Banderas.
So basically, she liked Puss in Boots. He was a very over the top character. He was very charismatic. But I mean, like I said, that's what these movies are. They're over the top and they're just fun. Come on, who doesn't love hey, yo, you ready to get the Expendables? You want me to go do some Rocky? You want me to go do some Rocky? And then you got Arnold, it's like, you get the chopper. And then you got Dolph Lundgren, like, ugh. And then you got Jason Statham, oh, I'm going to fucking kick your ass, boy. And then you got Jet Li, like, oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry, that was really racist. Even in this movie, you still can't hear Jet Li. He just, I'm sorry, buddy, but your accent, you need to work on that, your English accent. So, that is our review of The Expendables 3. Emiline has given it an 8 out of 10. I give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a nice, strong, fun summer movie. Matinee price for me. If you're bored, you'll enjoy yourself. If not, wait for it on Redbox or Netflix. So, which brings us into the final portion of the show, which is box office results. Now, Jackson has started this trend, and he's a smart dude because I think it's fun to where whoever's a guest on the show will guess the top 5, and we'll see how they do. So, Emiline, starting from number 5 to number 1, start from the bottom. Now we're here. What is the top 5 box office results for the weekend? Starting with 5.
5? Okay. Well, The Giver, I guess.
Okay.
Would be 5. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy, being it's been out, 2 weeks or something? 3 would be Let's Be Cops. 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then Expendables 3 is 1, being it just came out.
Okay. I'm sorry to crush your soul, but you got 2 right.
Okay.
You were very close. If you just would have switched 1 or 2 up, you would have had it perfect. Number 5 is The Giver with $12.7 million on a $25 million budget. So double that. It needs 50 to break even, and it doesn't have any worldwide results yet. It just has domestic with 12. So, sorry, The Giver, you're another failed young adult adaptation. Go suck a dick. I'm sorry, but like most of them are all the same. Listen, I've seen Divergent. I've seen The Hunger Games, Harry Potter, Twilight. Have you even seen some of the shittier low class ones? They're all the same. They all have the same feel. Just take a breather. Take like 5 years off and then come back and make another young adult adaptation. Then maybe people won't get sick of them. Number 4 is The Expendables 3.
What?
This movie tanked compared to the first two. It only made $16 million. And the budget is not listed, so I actually have no idea what its budget is. But I was telling Emiline this the other day. Expendables 3 leaked online, the whole movie. So it was downloaded over 2 million times, which means it already lost revenue of $20 million if you want to average ticket prices around $10 or so. That's a lot of money. So, I mean, I'm sorry, Expendables 3, but you just got butt raped. You're done. Like, that hurt it a lot. And so, maybe it can do well overseas. I don't know. But as of right now, 16 opening on the third one is very, very bad, considering the first two opened up around like 30 or 40-ish. So, number 3, Let's Be Cops, was 17 million. And total gross domestic is 26, because it came out on Wednesday. And its budget was 17, double that, 34 to break even. So it's actually almost there. And if you guys listened to my podcast where I talked about Let's Be Cops, I actually really enjoyed it. 22 Jump Street is still my favorite buddy cop comedy of the summer. But Let's Be Cops is still a very fun ride. I highly recommend it. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy. 24.7 million. And it's, oh my god, I'm so proud of this movie. It's like watching a little kid grow up. Its budget was 170, which means to break even, it needs to be 340. Domestic, it's got 222. Worldwide, this thing is sitting at 418. So it's almost made $100 million profit. Holy shit. No one would have fucking thought 8 months ago this thing was going to do as well as it has. Because, you know, it's new property. No one doesn't know it. Guardians, I just want to kiss you right now. I'm so proud of you. Because it was such I know. I'm sorry, Emiline. I need to kiss Guardians because I'm so proud of it. I'm like that proud father. So number 1, Turtles again. Turtles got number 1 last week with 60 million. This week with 28.4 million. Domestic total gross is at 117 with a worldwide of 185. Unfortunately, the budget is at 125, which means it needs 250 to break even. Still got a ways to go. But I think with the foreign territory, it could bump it up a little bit because I don't think it's opened up everywhere yet. So, you know, it's got some legs. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that movie. So, I would like it to succeed. So, that is your top 5 for the weekend. Congratulations to Guardians and Turtles for the top 2 spots. I'm sorry, Expendables, Sylvester Stallone, you'll have to find another way to pay for your Botox injections. And then I'm sorry, was that bad? Yeah, that was pretty bad. Okay, listen. Here's a new challenge. Watch a Sylvester Stallone movie past 1990. Well, actually, no, I would say past 2000. And watch him smile. Like, watch him try to struggle to smile. I performed it in front of Emiline. Like, he does it very, very slow. It's all that Botox. I'm telling you, it's killing him. So, yeah, he's going to have to find another way to support that. And then, I'm sorry, The Giver. You're another failed young adult adaptation. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the podcast. I want to thank Emiline for joining me on this week's episode.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, no problem. And if you guys like Emiline more than me, it's totally understandable. She's very cute, very likable. If you want her to take over the show, she will kill me by next week, and she'll roll my body into a ditch, and she'll take over. But seriously, if you guys like her and you guys want her back on, hey, I'm okay with that. So I am Chase Lee, and this has been Reel Me In: a movie podcast. If you guys want to follow me on Spreaker here, you can do just that. Click that follow button. And if you guys want to find me on iHeartRadio, I'm also there as well. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter to get updates on live feeds for the show and links posted, movie reviews, whatever, at Real Chase Lee, REEL, Chase Lee, all one word. If you guys want to subscribe to my YouTube page where you can find all my movie reviews, web series, short films, I got a bunch of shit on there. It's www. I almost said .com again. www.com. That's not even a fucking website. I do this every week. I get so tongue-tied. YouTube.com/Shabootnik75, capital S, lowercase HABOOTNIK 75. If you guys want to like my Facebook page to get up-to-dates on the podcast, movie reviews, and all that stuff, like I said, it's facebook.com/Real Reviews with Chase Lee. And if you guys want to follow me on other social medias, go for it. Just type my name in and you'll find me. So I want to thank Emiline once again for coming on. Next week I will talk about whatever comes out, whatever tickles my fancy. And so, yeah, that's it, guys. So I'll see you next week for another episode of Reel Me In: a movie podcast. I'm Chase Lee, and have a good night, guys. And if you're listening to this during the day, have a good day. If you're listening to it underwater on a scuba deep diving voyage, then your phone's probably not working. Okay, bye.